spoilers. I'm just going to say that right off the bat because I really want to go in depth about some theories that I have about John Wick Chapter 3, but I mainly want to discuss the first two movies. I saw neither of them in theaters. I got the first John Wick on digital because I just heard from so many people that it was a kick-ass action movie, and indeed it was. It had a very, very, very simple plot. Pretty much everything that you need to know about the character, or at least enough to get the story rolling, takes like a couple minutes, really. You understand his wife died. He used to be this crazy assassin, but he got out of the line of work to be with her, but she died, and she left him this fucking puppy dog, and he drives this badass muscle car. Well, these fucking mobsters tangle with him, and they try to steal his car, beat the shit out of him, kill his dog. And that's basically what spurs his like violent return to killing people. Is he's like, I'm gonna go after the fucking people who killed my dog. And it's like, what? That's the plot of the movie, and it's so fucking cool. And you're introduced like to the whole, well, not the whole world, but like a certain part of the world, like the Continental. It's, you know, this place where the assassins go and no business can be conducted, you know, on Continental grounds. It's actually sort of like Highlander, how the immortals can't fucking do battle on like holy ground. It's a similar concept. It's sort of like an honor among thieves, but it seems as though you don't really see anything outside of like this assassin's world, so it's sort of like a world of its own. And I really did enjoy the first John Wick, as did most people. And most people like the second one too, but I actually have to say, I actually liked John Wick Chapter 2 even better because it further immerses you in this world. You got the Continental, and you got like the High Table, I believe it's called. And you know, it's like these two powers. The High Table is like basically like the Knights of the Round Table of assassins. You know, there's like 12 seats or whatever, and they're like the most powerful people who have the most money essentially and can just like hire anybody they want to. So in this movie, in the second one, once again, it's like you find out that he has basically like a blood oath with somebody, and once again he buries his guns and he's done. He's retired. He got out of this life for a reason, but he has this like blood oath with somebody, which in view of the Continental and the High Table and everybody, it's like you've got this blood oath. It's like your soul is bound with whoever did it, so you have to do what they say. Well, it turns out that essentially he's got to assassinate somebody on the High Table so that her little weasel brother can get the fucking throne there and shit like that. And again, he has to do this. Otherwise, I mean, they already blow up his house. Like, shit has just gone totally awry. They won't fucking leave him alone until this is done. So he does it, and lo and behold, it starts this whole chain of shit where it's like now there's a bounty on his head for like $7 million, and tons of assassins are coming after him. But, okay, his blood oath is fulfilled, so now he's like, all right, well, if nothing else, I'm going to get this little fucking peckerhead. I found that in the second one, they took their time a lot more. Like, there was some really surreal, there was like this scene when he goes to assassinate the person from the High Table, where they're in this like weird-ass nightclub, and there's this like ethereal, like kind of sort of trance music. It's like trance rock, metal, in a weird way. It's like, I don't know, I can't, but it's just so weird, and it's just like you see like the inner workings of all this shit. And essentially the way the movie ends, and this is what I really want to talk about, the way the movie ends is that last little piece of shit goes to the Continental, where what's that actor's name? Ian McShane. Ian McShane is like the one of the American like owners of a Continental there, and you know, he likes John Wick, you can tell, but he runs the place and he's very strict on his rules. It's like no business can be conducted here. You don't fucking kill anybody when you're on Continental grounds. That's the deal. So the little fucking turd who hired John Wick goes to the fucking Continental, beats John Wick there. And basically, he goes up to Ian McShane, and he basically goes like, I want John Wick's, you know, membership revoked, and yada, yada, yada. And Ian McShane is basically like, well, you know, in the eyes of the Continental, John Wick has done nothing wrong, so he's still welcome here amongst us. And he's basically like, as a member of the high, you know, the High Table, I order you to da-da-da. And Ian McShane's basically like, whoa, wait a minute, bitch. Like, I got news for you, pal. I run the fucking Continental. I have just as many resources at my back as you do. Fuck you. I'm king here. You know, and then it's basically just like, you know, but enjoy your stay, little turd. So, needless to say, like, next scene, John Wick comes storming in. Basically, Ian McShane's like, John, calm down, and the fucking little turd's there, and he's like eating duck, and he's like, duck fat, it's really the best flavor. He's like, you know, one could really, like, live at the Continental for quite some time, sort of a thing. And John Wick's just standing over there with the gun. Honestly, I don't know what this fucker thought was gonna happen, but John Wick just goes, fucking blows his head off right in the Continental, because it's like, I mean, really, when you think about it, it's like, what did he really have to lose anyway? It's like he's already got like a $7 million bounty on his head. Granted, the Continental would have offered him like sort of a safe haven, but it's like, what's he gonna do? Just fucking hide out there until like all of his money runs out? And Ian McShane's just like, what have you done? So here's my theory. I think that in John Wick Chapter 3, because the way the second one ends up, it's basically like Ian McShane explains to him, like, you know, you're excommunicado with us, and in 1 hour's time, I'm giving you this hour, you know, but after this hour is up, it's fucking open season on you. And John Wick's just running down the street, and literally, like, everybody is like turning and looking at him, and their phones are going off, and they're like checking notifications and shit. And you realize that, like, you know, they're all being informed, they're all assassins, and they're all being informed that he's excommunicado. And it's sort of like, and he's walking down the road, and then he sort of like picks up the pace into a sprint, and then like before the credits roll, he's straight up like running through New York City, like, because it's like, where the fuck is he gonna go? I mean, literally, where is he gonna go? Everybody is out to kill him. So, judging by the end of the movie and what happened at the Continental, I think that one or more members, perhaps the entire like high table, are going to essentially go to war with the Continental. That's what I think. I think that the third one is going to be about, you know, a power struggle between the two people who hold the most money in this universe. And I think that that is where John Wick is going to catch his break, because I think that the Continental is going to, I don't know if they're going to like just overlook what he did. He may not be allowed on Continental grounds, but maybe they've got like some sort of a sanctuary that's a subsidiary of theirs or something like that, where nobody would go, where he could stay, and they basically like recruit him to take out like the, you know, the entire high table or something like that. You know, I mean, that's my theory. Either way, man, it really seems like John Wick Chapter 3 is going to be the last one. It's probably going to be the most action-packed. Personally, I really hope that they do a good job with it, even if it takes them like 5 years to do it or something like that. I really hope that they like take their time and they very carefully construct it, because in both the first two movies, there are like some very extended sequences of action, but the action in and of it, I mean, the action in and of itself is awesome. It's so well choreographed, and I mean, kind of believable. I mean, in that, I mean, like, I could see somebody who's like a true marksman, like, or an assassin being this like baller. It's really cool. I mean, odds are he probably would have died at some point before the end of the movie. He's up against a lot of people, but still, it visually I can buy it. Visually I can understand it. But those sequences of action are sort of like the payoff for this just crazy, bizarre universe. These movies are truthfully unique. Like, this universe, this world that is where John Wick comes from is so, it's like adjacent to reality. It's like, it's our world, it's our cities, it's our globe, but everything is run by like assassins, or at least everything that we're exposed to. There's like this massive populace of, you know, either assassins or people who hire them. It's just so cool and so unique, and done in such a way that, like, even the extended sequences of action, it's not like watching, like, you know, Doom or some fucking video game movie where it's just like, all right, this is mind-numbing stupidity. Like, no, these movies are very, like, well thought out, and I would really hope that in a John Wick Chapter 3 that they would maintain that. Even if they went a little harder, I could understand that, but I really hope that they would maintain that cool kind of atmosphere, and perhaps even expand on it a little bit, immerse us a little bit more in this world, show us some shit that we've never seen before. But at any rate, I mean, it's coming out, what, 2 years from now, hopefully, whatever, we'll see. But really looking forward to it. And yeah, I love the John Wick movies. Every time I watch them, both of them, I like them a little better and better and better. What do you guys think?